Hey everybody, hope everybody's doing okay. This is Joe Tommaso and you're listening to this edition of 15 Minutes With. If you guys would like to help me keep this show going and would like to see it get better, please donate to paypal.me/Joe Tommaso. That is paypal.me/JoeTomaso. Also, if you'd like to see the show get better, you got comments, suggestions, or if there's somebody you want to see us try to interview, please email me at insidetherazorwire@gmail.com. Again, that email is insidetherazorwire@gmail.com, or you can snail mail us at P.O. Box 162, West Haven, Connecticut 06516. So we've all seen shows like Lock Up and 60 Days In. Are these shows showing you prison the way it really is? Our guest today says that's not the way it is out there. So let's get with it.
Oh, this is a prepaid collect call from
Stephen?
an inmate at SCI Green. This is a call from Pennsylvania State Correctional Institution, Green. This call is subject to recording and monitoring. To accept charges, press 1. To refuse charges, press 2. If you would like to thank you for using Securus, you may start the conversation now.
Hey, good afternoon, Steve. How you doing?
Good, how you doing?
Okay, so today what I wanted to do is go into a couple things. Most people on the outside think that prison life is something like you see on corporate shows like Lock Up or 60 Days In. Is that the way it is in there or not?
Actually, absolutely not. I don't even watch those shows anymore because they actually sanitize a lot of stuff that really goes on because they couldn't really put what goes on because it would be a constitutional issue to verify that prisons can be that bad.
Okay, can you give an example or some examples as to what you see or don't see on there that happens in real life?
I mean, a lot of times where they talk about, the fights that go on and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yes, you'll have individuals that will, fight like you see on TV, but a lot of times it comes without even any warning. I mean, there was a guy here that he was sitting down, he was eating in the chow hall. Next thing you know, somebody had cut his neck and he was bleeding all over the place. A lot of times, guards, they're very abusive to people. In fact, that's exactly what happened here with the officer that got assaulted was because of antagonism towards people, and that happens on a routine basis in prison.
So what you're saying is the guards routinely harass the inmates till it comes to a point where the inmates have no choice but to retaliate.
Yes, and believe me, it's not all staff. There's a lot of respectful, good staff, but there's some that they shouldn't have this job.
Okay.
Should have been screened out.
Okay, so can you explain also the difference between lock up and lock down to these guys?
Well, locked up, we're all locked up. Locked down is when they lock down the facility, when something happens, and it happens quite frequently here, where they'll just make an announcement, everybody goes in their cell, and they lock the facility down for security purposes.
Okay, and at that point you either have a shakedown or whatever afterwards, and...
Well, sometimes it is. The other day it was because someone died, so they had a lockdown because of that. Had to bring the ambulance in and medical examiner and all that.
Okay. Oh, so you had an inmate that passed away. Do you know if it was natural causes, or do you know what happened, or...
Not at this point, because I really don't come out of my cell much anymore if I can help it.
Okay. Can you describe food services and medical care on the inside?
All right. Actually, the food was okay here when I first got here.
Mm-hmm.
Since then, Aramark took over, and they're a good company. But in the prison system, the food at this facility has dropped dramatically. I mean, the portion size is, you're always getting burned for what you're supposed to get.
This is a call from Pennsylvania State Correctional Institution. Green. This call is subject to recording and monitoring.
The menu doesn't match what the meal really is. I mean, they make it sound a lot better than, in words than what it really is. A lot of times, it's missing parts of the meal that are on the menu.
Mm-hmm. So it'll say like say Salisbury steak, mashed potatoes, and corn, and the corn will be missing or the mashed potatoes will be missing, that kind of thing.
Well, they would have the corn, the mashed potatoes, and the Salisbury steak, but it would all be low grade stuff. It's more like in the condiments.
I got you.
And like I said, portion size would be a lot smaller than what they say it would be.
There's a mandatory minimum amount of calories you guys are supposed to have every day.
Yeah, they don't need that. They say they do, and if you look at the menu, according to portion size, they do. But it's one of those things that they can't verify because the meal's already eaten, and if you make a complaint, it's hard to prove something that isn't there no more.
Right.
So they do. Capitalize on that.
Okay, and how about medical care?
Well, you had asked that once before, and I knew of some things, but because of HIPAA and confidentiality reasons, I didn't want to say anything until I actually talked to some of the people.
Okay.
But I actually got a list. I can't.
This is a call from Pennsylvania State Correctional Institution. Green. This call is subject to recording and monitoring.
One guy had his cell partner die due to discontinuation of necessary meds and lack of medical care. There's two guys right now who have had hernia surgery that both failed, and now their testicles are swollen with blood, and medical's not doing anything about it. One guy has a lump in his arm and his chest, and medical is refusing to address it's cancer. Another guy has intentional blockage. He went up to medical, they gave him Melanta, and then hours later he was rushed to the hospital and had to have a section of his intestines removed. There was another guy who has chronic sinus infection. He's had it for 4 years that medical refuses to treat. Another guy had heart surgery, and his life-saving medication is discontinued. He's fighting to get it back.
So you're saying this guy has medication, cardiac medication, and they're not giving it to him?
No, they're not. Another guy had documented cancer, lymphoma, when he was on the street. He comes in here and medical won't treat it. There's another guy who has Hep C, and I think there was a lawsuit in 2015 or 16 that was settled that said all prisoners will be treated by 2020, and this guy's been trying to get treatment for 5 years. And then, there's me with the mental health treatment for gender dysphoria. In fact, just 3 days ago, I was having a mental health issue because of staff misconduct, and I asked to see psych. The officer did call. He said somebody's going to be coming down to see you in a little while, and I haven't seen anybody yet. It's been 3 days. If it wasn't for another prisoner, I more than likely would have cut up. So I mean, that's just a few. There's actually a lot more cases than that, but.
Well, in your case, they're familiar with your past history, so I would think that they would, I would think they would take some steps toward, getting you treatment. That's what I don't understand.
Well, they were aware of it in 2016 when I had threatened suicide. They didn't treat me, so I cut up. They took me out, they treated the wounds, and then because they didn't have any psychiatric evaluation cells, camera cells available, they put me back in the same cell with the stainless steel that I cut up with, and then gave me a razor, so I cut up again. And that was in 2016.
Wow.
And that was here. And yes, they are aware of my past history. It's a cross between people not caring and people not communicating.
What do you think could be done to make it better?
honestly, they have to let people go. You have a lot of people in prison that don't belong here. And I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about people that are in here for minor crimes, for drugs. Drug treatment would be better for them. Excessive sentences. There's quite a few excessive sentences. In fact, Prison Society puts out this publication called Greater Friends, and the Lieutenant Governor has gone on record saying that he wants to streamline the commutation process to get rid of prisoners who have been in prison, either wrongfully incarcerated or their sentences are unreasonable. There's quite a few of them like that in Pennsylvania. But you have to get rid of people that don't belong here so they can still take care of prison with the money they have. Just trying to do it with not enough funds.
Well, recently, the Pennsylvania Department of Corrections closed SCI Retreat. Those guys were relocated across the board to other facilities, including SCI Green. What's your overcrowding situation like right now?
We have, I think, 1,700 people here. I don't know if I can say that it's overcrowded here because they're double cells, the capacity, but they do have segregated recs and segregated meals because there's just too many people to feed all at once. But I think the whole thing that they don't have their mass movement here is more for what they call security reasons. The bigger prisons, they actually do have mass movement. They have a lot more prisoners.
Right. So, okay. So, is there anything else that you wanted to talk about today, or?
Well, there is the issue that I guess we had spoke about it before, but it probably wouldn't be appropriate to go into it now because there's just not enough time. What I think is really important, though, is that the people out there who either listen to this show or hear about the show understand that the purpose is to get people like myself to understand what can happen when you're not thinking about your actions. I never thought for a second that things would turn out the way they did, and I can't go back and fix things. People are dead, families are destroyed, and there's nothing I can do to bring anybody back. And what I hope to accomplish by doing shows like this is get people to understand that it's not like you see on these TV shows. Prison, once you're here, you can't get out. And you just have to deal with conditions that get progressively worse, dangerous situations. People that won't even allow you to be who you are sometimes. And I wish I had a chance to do it over again, but I screwed up my chance. So I hope that somebody out there hears this and maybe thinks twice before they act.
Thank you for listening to 15 Minutes With. I hope you've enjoyed this edition. If you have enjoyed this edition of 15 Minutes With, please hit the like and the subscribe button. You can also help me keep this show going and watch it get better by donating to paypal.me/Joe Tomaso. That address again is paypal.me/JoeTomaso. 15 Minutes With is constantly looking for new content to upload and new people to interview. If you would like to share your story, or if there's someone you would like to see us interview, please email us at insidetherazorwire@gmail.com. That email address again is insidetherazorwire@gmail.com. Last but not least, again, if you like to support this channel, please subscribe and hit the like button. Until next time, we'll be seeing you